Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I invite and introduce you all to our speakers. Let's give it up for Head Sustainability Voltas Limited, a Tata enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Ms. Astrid Dice, please. Followed by Vice President and Global Head, Corpcom, and Sustainability Lupin. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Ms. Shweta Munjal, please.
It was a power-packed panel before this. I need a little more energy to welcome us. I hope you guys can hear both of us here. We're here for a fireside chat on a very interesting and important topic, new corporate, new environmental responsibility and new understanding. I think after the last panel, we've got a good context of a new corporate, right, Astrid? A new corporate definitely means something where we are also so conscious, of how the world is changing. We're making disclosures, etc. We're coming all out and, talking about ESG. And this room full of ESG professionals, there's lots to learn from them as well. Do you want to talk about what you understand of this topic, and then we'll take it from here?
Am I audible? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. I think ESG has always been around us. It has just taken different forms. It is evolving for sure, like we were talking about, but it has always been there, and it has always thought corporates to be the better person. That in short is ESG. This is what at least I get of it. And I think with evolving reporting guidelines, with government regulations, things are changing. And I think a little bit of proactiveness from the corporates itself is also going to help us to move towards this journey. This is my take on it.
Exactly. I think gone are the days when we were just looking at financial disclosures. It's time for us to go beyond financial, talk of, overall citizenship. What is the role that all of us as corporations play in, making the change? Environmental sustainability, right? A topic, it's here coming from all corners of the world that, it is important. It is definitely something that we all need to be conscious of. We are hearing right from Greta to everyone of the climate change that's impacting us, etc. I think it'll be great if you talk about your understanding of this.
So if you're coming about purpose-driven kind of reporting, or why do you need to do ESG in the first place, or how is it helping companies? Well, I'll give you a perspective from our side, at least from the Voltas' side. Being a part of the Tata Group, we have to do things because we are in that group. That's the biggest purpose that we have. But apart from that, we are also told that while we sell services as well as products, we also engage with communities and build a better nation. One of the examples I would like to give is the Namami Gange project that happened, wherein Voltas was given the task of building STPs to clear that water. The initial project cost was what was given to us. However, we discovered throughout the project that we would need to put in more funds to get the actual outcome.
Right.
And since it was a government funded project, there was not enough funds. So we put in funds from our side and got the entire project done. Now this is something with a purpose. We went ahead, we tried to understand the culture of that place. We went into Madhubani painting so that people will also understand, based on that culture and the area of that place, that why water is an important resource, how to protect it. So I think it's like a dual role. I mean, one side you understand, we also have other things that we do, which obviously we take a little bit more profit, but we also do things that, don't really give us too many profits, but they help, in that wider purpose.
Absolutely.
So
Tata always has been pioneers in this space of, taking these steps forward.
Yeah.
I think there have been a lot of corporations that are actually doing a lot of purpose-driven approach in the way of, taking their strategy forward. I'm sure you've heard of, so I'm in a blackout period, so I can't talk about Lupin, but I can definitely, speak of some examples that we've heard from, all around us, not just nationally, but internationally also. I think Infosys has been, taking a lot of green initiatives, etc. They've been talking of renewable energy, etc. for a very long time. Right? I think that's where it has truly help them not just in taking that purpose forward, but also help them in their operational efficiency and cost savings, etc. So while financials is one side, and they're not a manufacturing, right, organization, they're tech services, software and service company, etc. We have similar examples of, a lot of companies doing purpose-driven, approach in their, entire strategy.
Yeah.
Do you have some more examples from the Tata Group or your group on how this is being led?
So there are a lot of them in terms of even with products and services that we offer. And it will take the whole day to kind of explain all of that. But for us, it has given an edge in terms of understanding the bigger requirements, understanding what works, what doesn't work. Sometimes things don't work because of costs. Things don't really work. Like I was saying that, 5-star AC, which will obviously give you more energy efficiency, doesn't really sell the most.
Yeah.
In spite of everyone knowing that the 5-star is energy efficient. So there are times that things work and there are times that, they don't work, there are challenges.
Yeah.
So that's how you balance it out and you try to understand what works well. Manjul, Shweta, I had a question on, well, everyone was talking about greenwashing, they were talking about reporting and everything, right? So how, and you are from, one of the things that you put on the hat for corporate communications, how do you communicate or how do you inform stakeholders about, initiatives that it could be any ESG initiative, how do you say it without greenwashing, without sounding like it's blowing your trumpet?
Sure.
Right, how do you communicate?
Yeah, so this is not a disclosure, so I'm in a blackout period, but I can definitely, I lead communications and I also do ESG for Lupin. I think traditionally storytelling has been done for a very, very long time for reasons. A, it connects with people deeply. It definitely evokes emotion, and thirdly and most importantly, it actually bridges, it inspires others. And we've actually used a lot of storytelling opportunity to speak about some of the ESG initiatives. I think in the last panel it was discussed, bringing, data together to make disclosures is not an easy job. But if you, loop them into the entire sway of, taking them along, it just helps. In our organization, even before we started doing disclosure, the reason I am doing ESG along with my communications role was, it was easier for me to do storytelling, helping people understand the role and importance they play. We've used a lot of, we've done comic strips on ESG to make them understand not just what the organization is doing, but most importantly the role each one of them play in the, small bits, how they can do. Very interestingly, we've actually designed games. We use social media, internal social media channels like Yammer, etc., to actually educate people on what is it, why is it important, and why is it so necessary for us as individuals, together as teams, and holistically as an organization to take a lead. How can it bring a competitive advantage to us, etc. And that's when today, when I actually compile my data, leveraging technology, definitely I use a tool that helps me. But it hasn't been difficult because I think we've actually taken people, and we are 21,500 plus people across the globe. I'm not doing standalone India rating. I'm a global organization, so I'm actually doing rating across. But we actually did interesting storytelling through through the years, and we continue to do that. We recently launched our integrated report. It's fun way of bringing, we actually ask people to help us design what the theme of the report would be. It's not just written integrated report 2022-23. No, we actually ask people, you've heard from us what we've been doing as an organization, give us ideas. The more you engage, the more you inspire, the more you connect with them is when you get ideas, and that's when they actually come back with a lot of interesting areas.
Yeah, nice. Very interesting. And do you also kind of, what about the long term? So if you look at general reporting structures, you normally talk about now and probably a year back, but I'm sure Lupin must be doing a lot of in the past also, because this is not something that we started yesterday.
True.
How do you kind of communicate effectively on, throughout the year, how have you, or throughout the years of your ESG journey, because it's a journey essentially. How do you communicate that, in your reports, or, throw us some light on that?
So again, we've done it, again, storytelling also means using various tools, etc. We use a lot of case studies. We actually bring people in the center. Are people who've actually done efforts and shaped those campaigns, etc. We've been, as an organization, Lupin runs a foundation since 1988. The organization Lupin was founded in 1968, but 1988 we've been doing a lot of interesting livelihood campaigns, etc., which are actually giving us fruits for our ESG disclosures now through our, water campaign, etc. So there are a lot of things that we've done. I think when we bring people into the center who actually, and these are 400 people in our foundation team running these, when you actually get these people, ask them in a room full, talk about, and I'm talking of a virtual room, I'm not talking of getting them here, in a virtual room to help us explain how they've been doing it. Obviously you will not get the kind of quality of, writing, but you definitely get, emotions, you get excitement from them, and they are part of it. They're actually more excited to contribute rather than just, kind of just say, oh, I want to profile, yeah, ye bhi dal do, wo bhi dal do. So I think it's very, very exciting, stuff, etc. Great. Actually, that brings me to a very interesting question to you, Astrid. What, according to you, are, the biggest barriers that you think companies face when they are transitioning to a more sustainable practices, etc.?
Yeah. So there are quite a few. I think they were discussed even previously in the conversations that were there before us. One obviously that comes up, and I think everyone would agree, was the money, the cost of these initiatives, because you talk about renewable energy, you talk about most of these, they come with a cost, right? So one is obviously the cost. You will have to figure out a way to kind of balance it out.
Correct.
And convince people at the top that we need to do this. So that is the barrier. The second barrier, I think, like regulations, government regulations help you kind of push a little more, because then you don't need to convince anyone, you need to tell them that, hey, this is compliance, we need to do it. So I wish that regulations get a little bit more tighter. Like the BRSR now is still, you can say no to a lot of things, right? Of course you have to report, but I wish things get, like the EPR got in a lot of change, right?
True.
So I wish, so there are barriers, so money I think takes, for me, according to me, the topmost place.
Slot.
Second, I think obviously would be regulations. Third, I think would be, people having perceptions about certain things. There are, even in this time today, there are people who believe that climate change is not happening, it's just the weather. Hota hai barish, to kya kare? Bombay was always drowning. So, those perceptions need to change. And also there is a perception that you have to do something really big in sustainability, which is not really true. You can also do small things to kind of, drive change. So my bit on that. What about you, Shweta? What do you think?
So, I think it was just brought up in the last column that, the change, we should not just look at corporations to make the change. Every individual, needs to make an action. I think one of the things, and I'm not kind of posting it, but one of the things that I've started doing personally ever since I started doing sustainability or ESG is, I started using cosmetics which are sustainably led. These are things, you need to be very sure of what you're doing. Where is it coming from, etc. So these things, to me make a lot of difference. I think the other side effect, I have a 15-year-old boy. I think the side effect of these things, of when you lead a conscious living while you're working on it, is your child become a sustainability champion in the school, right? All I'm saying is they are, you just, as I said, you inspire action, you inspire others, with your little bit of thoughtfulness. If I could just make my child as a sustainability champion, for someone who's, very conscious of what he does, I think if you come to my house, there are, you'll actually see a lot of products, etc., very, very thoughtfully placed, planned, bought also. I think the only change that I as an individual is making is whatever I can in control of the roles and responsibilities at organization and my role as a mother too. Right? So I think I'm just trying to say that there are barriers for any change that happens. There will continue to be barriers, right? Irrespective of whether it's ESG or not. Now, how do you navigate, how do you embrace that, and how do you take this up is a, game changer, you know? So, Astrid, that brings me, you are part of a consumer durable industry. I just want to understand, with consumers being much more aware, etc., is there really a demand for sustainable products? Because you just said 5-star ACs don't sell, right? What is your thought on that? How do you think it's evolving over a period of time?
So there's a mixed response to this. While we offer the best-in-class energy-efficient, ACs, they don't really sell a lot. The reason being the price. It's expensive. So what we do is we've found a sweet spot of the 3-star inverter AC. We kind of give more discounts on these kind of products which have a higher efficiency, and we do not give discounts on probably like a fixed speed air condition or someone with a 2-star rating. So no discounts. So we kind of push it that way. The other thing is we are also into commercial air conditioning. While we see, again, which is also an expensive affair in any kind of new construction but what we've seen is there are services that people are asking for changing their existing air conditioning to something which is more energy efficient, while not doing a lot of, new equipments. Bringing in technology to understand how many people are there in the room so that everyone is comfortable while not making them feel uncomfortable just because you want to lower or increase the temperature. Right? So we are seeing a little bit of trend there. We are also seeing a little bit of effort from the government, like the Namami Gange project, that how do we kind of do to change this? So Tata kind of helps in a lot of government projects, and being a part of Tata, obviously Voltas, wherever we find our role to kind of play, where we can do a lot of these changes. One of the very good examples that I can give is the Paryavaran Bhavan, which is the Ministry of Environment and Forests, the building. That's a carbon neutral building, and that's the first carbon neutral building in India. The entire HVAC systems are done by Voltas.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are two sides to it. There is awareness, there are people who demand, and there's also that section, one that cannot afford an air condition even with the rising temperatures, and we are really worried about what we can do for them, and also not buying, energy efficient products. So we see both sides, but we are trying to be positive, and we're trying to cater to everything that we can in our capacity.
I think it's a very interesting proposition when you say that even a 3-star, 4-star, when you aggressively pushing that through discounts, etc., which means it's a cost, you're actually telling consumers to move toward that area. I think Tata's always have been pioneers in this field of innovating. So I think congratulations on that one.
Thank you. What about your side? Do you find any kind of with the changing climate change and everything that's happening around, what kind of pressures do you find on the pharma sector?
So I think pharma is a hugely regulated industry, right? I think the kind of pressures continue to be for any, we manufacture also. So I think all the environment related areas, we are definitely taking a lead and leap of faith, even though we were late starters in that journey, but we're definitely, kind of doing whatever it takes to, from a environmental sustainability perspective. On the social indicators, while our communities as an organization, we've been very conscious of how we give back, to the communities, etc. That has been, going on for a very long time. I think supply chain is one area that is, which is tricky. And but we are trying to address that also. My answer is 30,000 feet because, as I said, I'm in a blackout period. I don't want to make any disclosures, and I also do communications. I've got to be a little clear. But from a social governance perspective, I think for our employees, etc., we've been great place to work for a very long time, not just for India, for other corporations also. We absolutely measure these areas. We make sure these are, accounted even before ESG disclosure sites, etc. So we've been accounting it for a very long time. We've been actually, now that we make those disclosures, etc., we're doing interestingly lot of transparency in areas so that our investors who actually got us to do ESG, etc., see the true blue side of us as an organization. So there's no shying away of whatever we do. There are certain countries that we do not make disclosures on, right? And there are reasons for that. We don't want to give out our competitive advantage. There are reasons which are proprietary. There are reasons where we make disclosures, only when it is confidential, when confidentiality clauses taken care of by the rating agencies, etc. Otherwise, other areas we've been very open. In fact, if you open our integrated report, which we recently launched, within pharma, from an India-led MNC, we must be the ones who are making the maximum disclosures in the pharmaceutical space.
Nice. I think we should open the room for questions. Is that okay?
If there's anything that you guys have, we can discuss. Okay, I think that's about it. Thank you so much, Astrid.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
everyone
Shweta.
for your attention. Great addressing, this audience, and thanks a lot. Have a great evening and high tea.
Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for this amazing fireside chat, please. Thank you so much, Ms. Astrid, and thank you so much, Ms. Manjal. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite Mr. Randeep Bhatia, Associate Partner, Sapphire Human Solutions, to please present the token of appreciation to our speakers, please. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause, please. I'm sure in case a few of you have any questions to be answered, we've got the high tea time all by ourselves. We can put that time to use and connect with our speakers.